Our next speaker is Ms. Zeba Mohammad. Please come up. And her topic is the Hazara Genocide in Afghanistan. I think it's one of the most fascinating communities. So this is a very fascinating community, the Hazaras, both in terms of their history, their culture, their spirituality. You know, the Bamiyan Buddhas, everybody knows, has seen the iconic Bamiyan Buddhas destroyed by the Taliban. The last caretakers of the Bamiyan Buddhas were the Hazaras, and they are actually from that part of Afghanistan. Let me just quickly introduce Zeba, and I'll hand it over. She was born in Kabul, Afghanistan. Due to political unrest and conflict, her family fled to neighboring countries when she was just a baby. She graduated in New Delhi in India, where she lived for a while. She volunteered and she worked as an interpreter for YMCA and later for the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. Before arriving in the United States, she assisted refugee women in New Delhi. She followed her desire and became involved in federal and public affairs and furthered her education after moving to the US in 2014. Received a BA in political science, MA in social science, and from the Northeastern Illinois University. She was employed in several offices, including the office of Congressman Brad Schindler, representing the 10th District of Illinois, the office of State Senator Ram Villivalam, representing the 8th District in Illinois, and the office of the Consulate General of Israel to the Midwest in Illinois. So she works as an activist for the Hazara community. She is the co-founder and president of the Hazara Foundation, which is a non-profit, and like many other activists, she fights to bring justice to all forgotten genocides while recognizing their historical significance, including the Hazara Genocide. Zeba, please. Yes.
A little bit difference of pages I have now. So thank you so much for having me here. I'm honored to be here. I'm going to present about Forgotten Genocide, which one of them is Afghanistan, which is Hazara Genocide. So Afghanistan is a landlocked country located in crossroads in Central Asia and South Asia. Afghanistan is referred to the heart of Asia and it consists of multicultural, multi-ethnicity, and there are including Hazara, Tajik, Pashtun, Uzbek, and Turkmen, and many others. There are different language and customs, but the main language, official language, is Dari and Pashtun. It consists of 34 provinces, and the most important provinces is the Bamiyan. The center of the country, home to the some world ancient cities. Today I'm going to introduce you the indigenous people of Afghanistan, Hazara.
You can just read through that.
Okay.
Microphone.
So we talk about next.
Yeah, use the microphone. Okay, next slide.
Okay, next slide. Yeah, more. Okay, one of the ethnic group in Afghanistan, Hazara Nation, whose people founded the central of the province of district of Afghanistan called Hazara. They are famous and civilized, progress, noble, and peaceful people in Afghan history who have always followed democracy and fought to protect human rights. They speak Hazaraki, which is similar to Dari and Persian. Hazara indigenous and native people of Afghanistan. Unfortunately, due to inhabitation of the culture, artifacts, and documents about Bamiyan history and destruction of the ancient momentum such as Bamiyan Buddha by king, governor, and occupier in different periods of the time, there are fewer resources that reveal the ancient people of Afghanistan. So this is, you see the Hazaragi face and Hazaragi customs. We see the music and festival of the Hazara people. Next. So there are still historical facts and resources that shows that Hazara are native and indigenous people in Afghanistan. One of the resources is Gada. Gadas is the oldest part of Avesta, and the Gadas also were composed by the ancient people of Zoroastrian, and who founded Zoroastrian was in the Balkh province in Afghanistan between 600 BC and 100,000 BC. I can just move on. Their continued refer to the nation where they lived since that Zoroaster as their homeland Azra. So the other ethnicities of Afghanistan call these people Hazara or their homeland Hazara. So their Hazara was once independent before 1880 and then run by local government, and after the British attack in Afghanistan, known as the First Anglo-Indian War, they were success and pushed back the British colonial. The second force was successful in the Second Anglo War, and then 1880 Abdul Rahman became the king of Afghanistan in change of interest with the British. So Abdul Rahman came when he became in the power, he uses power to wipe out all of the Hazara from the area that was central of Afghanistan. So this is also a document showing that Abdul Rahman is starting to killing all of the Hazara from Afghanistan. So the reason behind the several would be that Abdul Rahman is starting to declare the Shia Hazara or infidel. So they are non-Muslim and non-believer, and they allow them to kill all of the Hazara. So the reason would be the power, religious differences, economic territory, and also rebellion resistance. The Hazara had a story of resistance central authority that had revolt against the Abdul Rahman's rule, and this resistance provided protection of the harsh measure taken against them, and this factor combined of the created brutal combined of ethnic cleansing and genocide resulting in the data of displacement of significant nation of the Hazara population. This is also the document that shows that the Hazara was destroyed and genocide was happening. Next slide, please. These are still, again, the document that Afghanistan sold all of those Hazara as slaves and captured them, and they taken away all of their belonging, including the land. Next slide, please. This is also a document shows that Hazara land was taken away from them and they distributed to Pashtun Kochi. This is the sad story about it's really famous called Chel Dokhtaran, or 40 Hazara girls, who in Oruzgan chose to commit suicide rather than face capture and enslaved by the Abdul Rahman's forces. The girls take refuge on a mountain and they realize that there is no any way of escaping, so they throw away themselves off of the cliff and preserve their honor and avoid honor of the captivity. And this acts collective suicide in remembering of the symbol of resistance of the extreme measure of the Hazara people who was forced to take and protect their dignity and lives. The history of the Chel Dokhtaran is a powerful reminder of the suffering endured by the Hazara during this dark period of the history, and is commended by Hazara culture as a statement of the resistance and courage. This is also Western witnesses this talking about what's happening and how the soldier was capturing those slaves. Next slide, please. Later on, this activity also become legal as they taking away all of those Hazara and making them as a slave and selling them to the different countries, including India. And there is also, we see that 6,000 families out of 20,000 families left in Beirut, and there's also 70% destroyed, and all 73% of the family from Orzagan was just remain, and the rest was captured or sold or just killed by Abdul Rahman's. Okay, next please. Eviction, this is also Abdul Rahman's evicted 400 Hazara's family from the fertile ancestral land, and they donated all those land to the other tribes and Pashtun tribes, and this is also documented in Faiz Muhammad's Qalib in the history and the history book of in Afghanistan history. Okay. This is also Abdul Khalid Hazara, was teenager who killed or assassinated Dr. Nadir Khan during the high school visit, and his entire family and friends were executed publicity. After Dictator Nadir's death, his sons and new king and his brother tried to stop this relationship with the Nazis based on their common Aryan races. These are all documented was from 25th of September, which we call them Black Day, or the Hazara Genocide, referring to the Black Day for Hazara Genocide. Hazara genocide also continue. We have also 1993 that the persecution of the Hazara people will continue to this day, but discrimination, high tax and pressure, looting the property and land caused many Hazara to leave the anxious hope of the neighboring country, Iran and Pakistan and Western country as well. This is report of document to massacre that we show. Next slide, please. This report document to massacre committed Hazara massacre of the committed Hazara by the Taliban forces in central Afghanistan, and in January 2001 we see that this is the victim of the primary Hazara Shia Muslim ethnic, and this massacre took place in 6 years. Okay, this is also a document of Mullah Omar plans to destroy the Hazara culture and historical moment of the Buddha. And continue genocide still to this day, and genocides continue Hazara to this day. Next slide, please. So we see that 2007, Daikundi province, where the 500,000 people are dependent on agriculture, Afghanistan government decided to raise those budget from $2,400 to $795,000 to replace it, that agriculture, to the government plan to build a modern prison to the Daikundi instead of putting in the agriculture. Next slide, please. This is also 2007, so I'm just documenting each year with just only one incident, that Kuchi Pashtun attacking Hazara, looting, burning Hazara's homes, and claiming Hazara land based on the Pashtun Amir's demand. Next. We have in 2014, Hazara passenger executed by the Pashtun Taliban, and next please. This is also several passengers abducted, tortured, and beheaded by the Pashtun Taliban in Zabul in 2015. That this girl's name is Tabassum, that was captured by the Taliban and beheaded. And we have also several other documents that shows that Pashtun Kuchi attacked from 19th to 21st century, bloody attacks against the Hazara and against Force 2000, flee from Afghanistan. Next. This is also a report of cause of conflict between the local and base of Afghanistan that was conducted by Independent Human Rights Commissioner. Next slide, please. This is also 2016, where people started demonstrating for getting the justice, but the attack was by the Pashtun society. It was killed and injured 400, including well-educated activists in this demonstration, peace demonstration. Next, please. Hazara genocide still continue, and 2017 I founded in Mirza Orlan and Salipur. Next. This is the registration center, which upcoming parliamentary election that was targeted by the Pashtun society bomber, and over 60 Hazara was killed in 2018. Next. This is also a document that shows that exam result of admission to military, so-called country, Afghanistan, several systematic racial discrimination against the Hazara, and we see that the Hazara exam person, the Pashtun, the student who was exam result was 132 gained admission over the person who was province of the Hazara exam resulted 312 in 2019. Next. This is also, they captured 5 Hazara born and alive by Pashtun Taliban that were captured in 2020. Next slide, please. This is also the date told from the bomb attack outside the school in Afghanistan, Kabul, and raising 68 dead, and officials said on Sunday that doctors struggling taking care of the 165 injury victims, and family was searching for desperately for the missing children. The targeted just school girls. Next slide, please. So the fall of Afghanistan in 2021, of course, still we see that violence against the women, violence against the girls, and there's 28 attack after 2021. So Kaj Education Center in the Barchi is one of those most deadly attack in 2021 after the Taliban came to power. That was the cause of 53 students, the majority was girl, and 100% injury was died that day. So this is also another news of shooting, bombing in religious and ethnic minority. This is still in 2022. Next slide, please. Yeah, 25 reasons. This is Islamic. Yeah, you can go ahead. These are all documented. Islamic that attacking, killed 17 Shia mosques in northern Afghanistan. This is also Unfortunately, it was last week, I believe in September 13, which the ISIS militia kills 14 Shia in Afghanistan, one deadliest attack this year. So Afghanistan 2024. Unfortunately, the reason is obviously the main reason is ethnicity. They are from Hazara ethnic group, and they are believing in different part or branch of the Islam, which is minority from the Shia, so they don't call Shia as a Muslim. So Hazara has zero violence in history of Afghanistan. They believe in democracy, they believe in human rights. They also save the Buddha in Hazara, and they're well educated and they're not minority in population because they were never conducted any population in Afghanistan. Of course, they're minority in religion, but to save Afghanistan and Hazara population, all international community accept there should be being a war, and I just pointed out a couple of bullet points about what we need to done about to saving Hazara who remain in Afghanistan. Next slide, please. So, next. So these are also all of the conducted that every year happening. So next. So these are all the data that Hazara Genocide is happening each day. That this also, the archive, it's in Google. You can just Google it, hazaragenocide.com, and you can just find out about all of those deadly attacks happening toward the Hazara from Afghanistan. Next slide, please, next. So yes, we are all standing for the Hindu genocide, Jewish genocide, Syrian genocide. So not all Hazara are experiencing the genocide violation in history. We have other among people that facing, so that all we need to recognizing those all of the genocide. For the most important part for the Hazara who remain in Afghanistan, so we of course we talk about the Hindu and we talk about the Sikh that we just a couple of family are left in Afghanistan, so they trying to wipe up all of people who are not the same they believe. So they are just trying to drop one by one to remove the Hazara from Afghanistan too. So the first bullet point that I needed to need an action, stop Hazara genocide, is international advocacy and pressure are needed to increase global awareness about the Hazara genocide through the media campaign. Second would be created safe zone within Afghanistan where Hazara can live without fear of persecution by developing a community policy and initiative to protect Hazara. Third was investing in economy development project in Hazara region to improve living condition, reduce vulnerability. And four, empower local Hazara leaders to advocate for their community rights and needs. Last but not least, encourage countries to adopt more inclusive Hazara asylum policy for the Hazara refugee. By all of this implementing this action, the international community can help to the in ongoing persecution of Hazara people and ensure their safety and well-being in Afghanistan. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.